Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
The 32-day-long oil spill in the Nembe Creek trunk line was finally brought under control last week when a team of experts and operators in the Nigerian oil and gas industry successfully put out the leak from the Santa Barbara oil wellhead owned and operated by AKUGHA Eastern Exploration and Production Company Limited. This churning development is expected to be followed by a post-spill impact assessment, which may have become a subject of controversy as environmental rights campaigners demand probity in ascertaining the actual cause of the incident.
The leak from Santa Barbara oil well in OML 29 reportedly occurred on the 5th of November 2021. For several weeks, the ruptured facility spilled crude oil and gas uncontrollably into farmlands and water bodies. During a visit to the spill site last month, Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri had described it as the worst environmental disaster he had witnessed in his lifetime, while urging the federal government and the operating company AKUGHA to quickly arrest the situation. Equally sympathizing with the impacted communities, several groups in the Niger Delta had blamed the incident on the negligence of AKUGHA and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC). Port Harcourt-based environmental rights activist Mike Karikpo had specifically held the operating company liable for the spill as it failed to decommission the facility, which was temporarily abandoned at the time of the incident.
If you have issues, you have to ensure that you completely and comprehensively decommission the facility until you are willing and ready to utilize the facility once more. And if you don't do that, everything that happens, anything around there, strictly the fault of AKUGHA.
Prior to the stoppage of the leak on the Santa Barbara wellhead, its actual cause was already a bone of contention. Reacting to claims of equipment failure, the National Oil Spills Detection and Response Agency (NIGER) had maintained that it would be premature to ascertain the actual cause and volume of the spillage without a report of the joint investigative team set up for that purpose. In an exclusive interview with Inside the Niger Delta, Director General of NIGER Idris Musa said, a post-spill impact assessment will determine if the OML 29 oil spill occurred as a result of equipment failure or third-party interference.
Next steps will still involve damage assessment, post-spill impact assessment, and then, of course, depending, that is where the law now operates, depending on what the outcome of the cause of the spill is, then we can now talk of compensation. If it's equipment failure, good, compensation. Yes. If it is found out to be third-party interference, well, the law will now be looked into. What does the law say when it is third-party interference? In other words, what we call it, sabotage, or let me just go straight, hitting the nail on the head, vandalism.
As Section 257 subsection 2 of the Petroleum Industry Act provides, host communities will have to bear the cost of repairing the damage in OML 29 if a case of third-party interference is established by the Joint Investigative Team. However, environmental rights campaigners in the Niger Delta sense foul play by the federal government's regulatory agencies in the oil and gas industry, which they accuse of always taking sides with operating companies in previous incidents of oil spills in Nigeria's oil belt.
I don't know why a statement should be said about us not jumping into conclusion. What conclusion do you expect Niger Delta to jump to, other than the fact that oil has spoiled, has destroyed the entire ecosystem, has destroyed the livelihoods of the people around that area? What NIGER has said is just to pattern the baby at the back. I don't think it's responsible enough. They should have acted faster than that.
They are trying to blame it on the community, but that is not the issue. This is a facility that has been operated by Shell since the 1950s till date and just divested to them in 2015. 5 years down the line, they bought liability. That is what they are experiencing.
In the aftermath of the OML 29 oil spill, Executive Director of Youth and Environmental Advocacy Center, Junamene Fineface, has called for an extensive remediation of the oil-impacted sites to restore lost livelihoods.
I think the pollution we have gotten there today is more than what we have in Ogoni land, where we have the environment cleanup going on as a result of the UNEP report. So I call on the federal government to immediately commence and commission the process of assessing that environment. You should call on UNEP to come and address and check the environment to see the impact of that on the people, and cleanup should commence almost immediately, like what happened in the Gulf of Mexico in the United States of America in 2010.
While eagerly awaiting an official report on the post-spill assessment of the OML 29 incident, other concerned Niger Deltans have called on the Joint Investigative Team to live above board. They insist that it will take restorative justice in this particular case to build public confidence in the Petroleum Industry Act enacted earlier in the year to transform operations in the Nigerian oil and gas industry.
Inside the Niger Delta,